Hey, all right, welcome back. Yeah, it's Friday. Yeah, what? You're confused? Yes, that's a bottle of Casamigos tequila on my desk because after all the crap we've talked about this week, I need a drink. And after watching Joe Biden last night, oh my God, you would wonder if maybe he had a few drinks, but I think it's worse than that. It's not something he can sleep off. It looks like he's going to be sleeping with the fishes as president very soon because it's just more and more evident that he does not have the top-notch facilities to be the most powerful man in the world. And it's getting scary. But, you know, I do opinion, and these things are my opinions. And that's why we bring on the best experts to talk you through what's really happened with some more factual evidence and training behind it than me and a bottle of Casamigos. So we bring in at all times the best, like this one. Our next guest, Dr. Carole Lieberman, joins us. She's none other than America's psychiatrist, not New York's or California's, America's. So she's the biggest. Doc, I don't know. We talked about this a little last week. I know, you know, there have been select things pulled out of it, but he did stand up for an hour and read off some papers. Is that a good sign or a bad sign?
Well, yeah, at least he did that. I'm telling you, the emperor has no clothes, and it is very sad. You know, I mean, I even catch myself sort of making jokes about this, but it's because we're uncomfortable, you know, that the leader of our country, of the free world for that matter, is in such bad shape. You know,
Can't complete sentences. At some points, he cannot complete a sentence. He forgets where he is, and he goes, well, anyway.
Yes, exactly. He has these ways of trying to cover it over, you know, which is what people with encroaching dementia do. As long as they have some general sense that maybe things aren't going well, they do little things. Now, just from the way he looked, he had these vacant stares. It didn't seem like he was making contact with anybody. His tie was askew. Not that that's a measure of dementia for, you know.
Hang on, Doc. I gotta tell you this. I'm a big student of appearance and body language in any business deal, right? Mm-hmm. And you probably know this, but many entrepreneurs out there, you might not know. When two men enter and meet for the first time or see each other physically for the first time, the first thing they check is the other guy's hairline. That's typically what a man looks at in another alpha man. Do I have more hair than him? That's a superiority thing. Am I on track there?
That's interesting. Okay.
One of the things.
Makes sense.
No, in business, it's one of the things. The other is, if they're taking you serious, you have a tie on and they have a tie on. If they don't have their tie up and they don't have their tie straight when you first come in, they're on their best behavior on the way in, then they're not taking you seriously. That's kind of, you know, these are just some, you know, ground level things. Tie askew means you're either not prepared, like you were late, rushed and hurried, or you just don't care.
Yes. And I mean, I think he cares, but I think that it was kind of like all rush. He was late, for example, to the meeting. God knows what he was doing or what they were trying, how they were trying to shore him up in the meantime. But he did so many other things. He smiled inappropriately. Of course, his cheat sheets. Then he said things like, when I came to the Senate 120 years ago, and you know, and he didn't even catch himself after that. Like if it was a slip, but then he realized, oh, what did I just say? But he didn't catch himself. The most delusional thing that he said, or perhaps the delusional thing that he said, was that he's planning on running for president in 2024. I mean, hello?
Well, let me ask you this. When you say I know what you're talking about, that they pressed him, are you going to run again? Are you going to run against Trump? But he also said, I'm running because, like he still has the programmatic lines in his head, right? Joe, you're not running anymore. You actually won. We made it happen. You're in, right?
Yes,
That's like,
exactly. And he's done that a number of times where he kind of keeps talking as if he's still in the debates or something, or giving a talk on his campaign trail. Just like he has called Kamala Harris, the president, the president-elect, all kinds of things like that, because, really, we know that they
he
know.
referred to the Harris administration a few months back. But, like when, I heard Chris Wallace on Fox News saying today, well, many people thought that Joe Biden was going to be the slick communicator that he once was, and others thought you were going to have to pin his address to his lapel. He was somewhere in between that, right? But when I look at what we saw yesterday, I think we talked about this, but I'm a big boxing guy, and like great champions who've been in wars over their life, when they get to the end of their career, even when they're getting their face punched in, they instinctively put their hands like this, right? They just know to do that, even though they don't realize how bad they're getting beaten. And when they go down, they know, wait till the number 7 or 8 and then pop back up like this. These are instinctive things from doing it for so many years, but they're not really doing it because they want to fight more. It's just like burned in them. I feel like Joe Biden's the same thing. He's just doing what he's used to been doing, but he has no concept of the content of what's happening.
Yes, it was so painful, and it was so hard to follow. You try so hard to make sense of what he's saying, and it just became impossible. So this is really, the thing is, what I kept thinking about was how other countries, leaders from other countries and just people from other countries were watching this, undoubtedly. And it makes him look bad, of course, but it makes our country look bad. It makes our country look so vulnerable. I know I mentioned this the other day, but certainly yesterday's press conference really illustrated that in spades.
What about, help is here?
Yes.
And hope is on the way. So he's like trying to patch together bullet points from his notes, and it's just like it's an ongoing collection of stumble bumbles.
It was in the New York Post, for example, today, and it looks so ridiculous with the pictures of the press, each press person, and then a description of them and all that. I mean, it's like a child's book from first grade.
Right. And Doc, how about this? This is like in the muck happening with the mainstream media. We know now that Joe Biden had a sheet in front of him with numbers next to the reporters as he was supposed to call on them, right? The 1, 2, 3, right?
Right.
They say, hey, he'll take some questions now. Darn reporter in that room already knows that he's got a list, and they know when they're going, and they know what their first question is going to be. So it's like, to me, the whole thing is like a Houdini. They're making kabuki theater before our eyes.
Yes, although, maybe some of those reporters thought, yes, he has this list in front of him, but who knows what he's going to do? Maybe he will call on me.
No, right. Well, true. Maybe they're trying to fake him out. But what I was saying was, if you look at the photos, every reporter has their hand up. So it's almost like, they staged it to say, when we open for questions, we don't know who he's going to go to first, but everyone raise your hand and he'll choose, right?
Yes.
And then we know behind the scenes, he's looking at a piece of paper that says, okay, the lady, the brunette with the orange jacket is the first one, right? Hey, Louise, let's go to you,
Yes. And at some point, remember, he said, where am I? He was looking down at his cheat sheets, where am I? Which he often says, meaning either in his notes or meaning like, where is he in the room? Where am I on? Which stage am I on now?
Where am I again? Hey,
Yes. Very sad. 25th Amendment.
Even into the camera, I feel like it's a blank stare. And I feel like we got 30 seconds left, but I don't think he really fully gets where he is all the time.
No, I don't think so. I was saying it was like a curtain is in front of him, like a fog curtain. And he's in his own little world looking at his little notes. It's really sad. He should be with a doctor getting treatment.
I agree. The best in the business, and she's always there for us when we call on her, America's psychiatrist, Dr. Carole Lieberman. Thank you, Doc. You're the best. She's from the Genie Bottle. We're working on a way that I can telecommute to be with her in the bottle, maybe for next week or something. But we'll take a quick break. We'll come back right after this.